Hey, did you know that only 1.9% of the US population heats their home with wood? Isn't that just crazy? My electric bill is cheaper in the wintertime than it is in the summertime because it costs me more to cool my house than it does to heat my house with this wood. This right here is the wood stove we're gonna be using to heat our entire house all winter long. And when we do that, it requires a lot of wood. To keep this 2,100 square foot house warm, we're gonna need a lot of wood, but thankfully we have a lot of forest. Yes, this is a brand new wood stove. We got a much bigger wood stove. The one we installed last year was just way too small. We upgraded, we got a more efficient and larger unit. I think this thing's gonna do great for us this winter. We do have mini splits. These are heat and AC, but I'm not really a big fan of running them in the winter time. They're great for AC. They do fine at heating the house as well, but it does cost a little bit more, so we won't be using these this year. So today, we're gonna be heading into the forest, sawing up some trees that have fallen that are in my way anyway. When I go mow back there, I have to go around them right now, so it'll be a win-win. We're getting trees out of the way and wood at the same time to heat our house. First, gotta get my chainsaw sharpened so that way it cuts real nice. You know, it really is nice to have family members that know what they're doing, that are professionals. My brother cuts trees for a living, has done that for a very long time, and he taught me how to sharpen a chainsaw, so thank you, Chris. This is just a little tiny chainsaw. I'm no expert, but it's 16-inch bar, works really well, does what I need it to do. If you don't make a mess putting oil and gas in your chainsaw, are you even a pro? Let's just make sure she fires up before we head out there. We got everything loaded up. Let's go get some wood. When I'm cutting wood back here on this property, I gotta be really careful because there's barbed wire around a lot of these trees, which is probably why a lot of them have fallen down. But right here, you can see barbed wire that's in these trees has been in there for a long time, and the tree is actually growing around it. Gotta be a little careful, gotta pay attention to what I'm cutting into, so that way I don't dull a bunch of chains. As you can probably see, if you look in this fence line, we got a down tree here, which is where we're gonna start, but there's a down tree there, there's one right over in there. And I don't know what it is. Maybe you guys watching this can tell me. This specific area has so many downed trees just in this one spot. I wonder if it's disease or, like I said, the property line is right there. Maybe they ran barbed wire through all those trees and it just killed them all. So I don't know, you let me know what you think. And I'm sure this is gonna be a problem I deal with for years to come because I can already tell that a lot of these are dead, they're just standing. So we're gonna go ahead and get started on this first one here and we'll keep working our way back. Is day 2. I only had a little bit of time yesterday and I only really have a little bit of time today, so I'm trying to get it all done this week so that way we have enough wood for the rest of the winter time, because what we got right now definitely isn't going to cut it. Let's get to it. Yes, I am looking out for snakes when I'm going deep in there. I've got a lot of brush that I'm dealing with as well, but I am definitely keeping an eye out for copperheads. Well, I got the chainsaw stuck. I'm gonna have to try to take a piece of wood and lever this log up so I can get my saw out of there. Got it. Get this wood out of the hill here, get it into the Polaris. You know, when you think about it, obviously this is free wood. Well, I mean, it cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars for this wood because we bought the property, but it's free wood because we're gonna forever be able to harvest wood from our property. I will be shocked if we ever find a day where we actually have to buy wood and bring it to the property. When you think about it this way, it's not just free wood. I'm almost getting paid to do this. I'm saving money, not only in the wood, but I'm saving money in a gym membership because, as you can tell, I'm out of breath. This is what we're supposed to be doing. As humans, we need to exercise constantly. We need to work really hard. Of course, we need to take care of our back and our knees and all that good stuff and do things the right way, but this will make you live longer than sitting on a couch doing nothing, watching TV every single day of your life. Getting wood could be your way of exercising instead of getting an expensive gym membership. We pick it up, we'll use our knees to bring us up. It's like a squat. Cost me nothing. And actually, I'm almost getting paid because a cord of wood is like 180 bucks nowadays. It's so interesting growing up in the 2000s because my generation got to watch how technology and these modern amenities that we have, air conditioning, you know, nice forced air furnace, vehicles that can do everything like this Polaris, which, don't get me wrong, I love the Polaris, very useful, but we also got to see how laziness takes over after we implement a lot of these things that make our life easier. What we don't realize is that not everything that makes our life easier is beneficial to us, because, you know, you look at diabetes rates or the rate of heart attack in men nowadays, and just a long list of diseases and sicknesses that exist in 2023. But you don't have people doing this. We don't have people going out in the forest every winter and harvesting their own wood or raising their own livestock. I mean, there's just so many different things that we have gotten so far away from because of our modern amenities, and it's hurting us. I mean, it's really obvious that in 100 years that the people that are strong and healthy are gonna be the ones that worked hard for what they have. They didn't just sit on the couch, they didn't eat junk food. They did things that were hard when maybe you could work smarter, but working smarter doesn't count if it's killing you. So this is like free wood. I'm getting paid to do this basically because a gym membership would cost me quite a few dollars a month. I get it for free getting wood. I get it for free being on the farm. I'm constantly working, constantly exercising, and that's what you need. We all need that every single day, a few times a week at least, but enough rambling. Let's keep getting this wood out of the forest. And this isn't me trying to poke fun at people with disabilities or anything like that. I know those are genuine, and it was more or less just me pointing out that as we advance with modern technology, that it can actually hurt us more than it does benefit us. That's pretty much a full load. Let's go dump it at the house. Hey, did you know that only 1.9% of the US population heats their home with wood? Isn't that just crazy? I mean, that's just baffling to me that only 2% of the US population heats their home with wood. I have to tell you guys, my electric bill is cheaper in the wintertime than it is in the summertime because it costs me more to cool my house than it does to heat my house with this wood. And I don't know why more people don't heat their home with wood. I mean, you really should. And before all of you go into the comments and say, well, we need to stop cutting trees down, this is a dead tree. I didn't cut this tree down. It's actually in my way, so I have to cut it anyway. But trees die just like every living being, and when they die, they fall to the ground and they decompose. So they can either decompose into the ground, or I can come cut it chop it up into firewood, and heat my home. And I would honestly say it's more environmentally friendly than heating with electricity, because we all know where electricity comes from. Not that friendly to the environment to dig deep tunnels into the ground and pull out resources that should have never come out in the first place. But I'm not saying we shouldn't have electricity or that that's necessarily bad. I'm just saying that heating with wood, definitely better than electricity. This tree is sitting up. It's still attached up top there, hitting the ground. So I'm gonna try and make a cut in the middle so that way this thing breaks down. We'll have to be real careful and real tedious about it so that way we don't hurt ourselves or mess up my chainsaw like I almost did earlier. There it goes. Well, we'll have to do it again because that sucker doesn't want to get down. But at least we got some of it. Let's cut this piece up and then we'll cut that whole tree down. And if you're thinking, but wait, I don't have acreage to go cut my own wood, so heating with wood isn't going to be practical because I would have to go purchase it. And to that I say, go look on Facebook Marketplace and go look on Craigslist. The amount of free wood that I find, because I'm like addicted to surfing Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, even though I'm not even buying anything. I just like searching for the deals that I'm probably not even going to purchase. The constant free wood, tree fell in my backyard, in my residential backyard. I have it cut up into logs. I just need it gone. And some people have even split the wood and they're just getting rid of it because they're moving. I mean, I just see it constantly. It almost kills me that I can't go get it because we have all this wood that I got to take care of. Yeah, if you want to heat your house for free, get yourself a wood stove, pay the money for the wood stove up front, and you can get a used one for $500–600, pretty decent one. And then just go pick up free wood off Craigslist and Marketplace. It's like almost ridiculous why you wouldn't do it, you know, because it's free. And free heat is energy efficient. Well, I butchered that one. I mean, seriously, if you're not spilling the gas and the oil, you're not even a pro. When I'm cutting these logs, especially the logs that are laying flat on the ground in the dirt, I only cut them halfway. I'll flip the log over and we'll cut it the other way. That keeps the chain from doling out on the ground, hitting any rocks or anything like that. It was 27 degrees this morning. That wood stove is cranking right now. I can show you exactly why this tree died. See that right there? See that? Barbed wire came into this piece. You can see it's actually nailed in right there, and the trees, you know, they probably nailed this in when it was a young tree and it's grown around it. Pretty incredible what it'll do, and it keeps going down the fence line. So I guarantee you that the majority of all these trees that I'm taking out of here probably died because some not so smart guy decided to put barbed wire and tack it into the trees instead of putting up posts or T-posts or something. Craziness. We would never do something like that. I love these trees. I want more trees on our property, and that's something you're gonna see us doing over the next few years, is just planting a ton of trees, because we want a lot more. We have a lot of them on this property that they put in barbed wire, you know, 60 years ago and decided to just tack it to the tree itself, and this is kind of the outcome of what happens when you do that. You probably can't tell, but there is another log in there, so go ahead and enjoy watching me struggle getting through the brambles. We got the whole tree cut up. We still have the two main trunk there that's still standing, but I'm gonna get all this out of the way that I've already cut up, put it in the back of the Polaris, and then we can drop those two. Well, that's maybe a little over half of the tree. We've still got a lot to pick up, and then obviously the two trunks, like I said. So we'll go run this back up the house and be back in a second. We got this dead standing tree right here. There's two different trunks that come up. Let's go ahead and drop them. Now we've got a pretty good pile of wood here that we got from our downed trees out back. We need to start splitting it, but before I split it, this is the area where we're gonna be storing the wood. You can see I got a decent amount of wood earlier this year, but I wanna start stacking along this open area, and you can see that somebody had put in some cattle panels right there. So I'm gonna remove those, I think, and then I'm gonna put some boards over to the other side, and then we'll put some roofing material because we have tons of roofing material left over from the house build. Well, actually deconstructing the house before we put it back together. And so we're gonna use that, make a little wall so that way the water can't come in when it rains sideways, but also so that way we can actually stack it up against the wall there. As you can see right now, like I can't really put this wood all the way over to the side. There's nothing to brace it. That way we can utilize as much space as possible. So we'll go ahead and grab some wood, some paneling, screws, and we'll get that all installed. Well, I guess I've been using too much wood for all these random projects I'm doing. I only have one board that's wide enough to fit that opening. So, but as you can see, I have tons of metal that we can use for all sorts of projects, but I don't want to have to go to Lowe's today and get a bunch of lumber. So I've got a different idea of what I'm gonna do in the meantime. Let's go back over to the pile. So this is like 11 feet from there to there, and I don't have any boards that are that wide. So I am actually just gonna take this cattle panel and re-tack it up on each side, and I'll put that up a couple layers. Not insanely high because I can't take it all the way up. That's super high up there, but so we'll take some of this cattle panel, I'll cut it, I'll stack all this wood today and everything, and then later on I'll come back and put 2x4s or 2x6s on the back end, and we'll put some of that paneling back there as well, so that way when it rains it doesn't attack the wood so much. If it does, it's not the end of the world because it'll dry out pretty quick. We don't get very much rain in the wintertime, or in the fall. In the wintertime we don't get very much rain anyways. So hey, look at that, we grew some corn on accident. It's even got a little cob. Trying to pick up all the nails because we don't want those in any of the hooves. To keep this from flexing, I'm going to throw in a T-post right in the middle. I don't have any more of those nails, so I'm going to be using just regular nails, putting one on each side and hammering it over the top, sandwiching it in. Now we've got a little wall here, so that way I can stack up against it. It won't fall over, because that's what's been happening on this side before we had a wall, so I'll be able to fill that up too. It just makes it easier. We get to, you know, stack this really high. It won't be any issue. We got to start splitting this big pile of wood. I got my Fiskars axe. Let's get to it. You can see this stuff is dry. It splits pretty easy. Some of the stuff that was sitting in the ground quite a bit is a little bit harder to split because it's pretty wet, but that stuff, really easy to split. Barely have to swing. Did you know that there's literally an exercise where people take a sledgehammer and do this exact same motion and hammer down on a big tire? I couldn't tell you what muscle that works out, but this is basically the exact same thing, except I'm doing this to heat my house. And those people have to pay hundreds of dollars a month for CrossFit. I guess I might have a little advantage to doing all these things, and I really do enjoy it. I enjoy working really hard. I enjoy going in at night, making dinner, and being extremely tired because I had a really hard working day. It's very satisfying for me to do big projects, whether it's the house or anything with the livestock or something like this. putting wood away for winter when I could easily just go purchase it, or you could easily just go hire somebody. It's so much better to learn the skill yourself, get good at it, expand your portfolio or your skills. It's so rewarding. You may not enjoy this stuff. That being said, I find it within me to enjoy it, because hard work is hard work, and obviously there's gonna be times where I don't enjoy doing something. But it's not like I just woke up one day, you know, I was just born enjoying working my butt off. That is absolutely not the case. I started to enjoy working my butt off after I would do something and put all this hard work into a project, and I would get to see the finishing product. And then I started to learn that I actually didn't really like the finishing product all that much. What I really enjoyed was the journey to get there, and that was the most important part for me. So you know, this part, like the log splitting, which is kind of just like the mind-numbing thing for most people. What they like to see is the wood all stacked up nicely, and then they're putting it in their fireplace. I actually enjoy this part more than I enjoy the final product of actually getting to use the wood. And that's kind of the same with most of the projects I do on the property. And it's not because I'm not satisfied or anything like that. I absolutely do love the outcome, but I'm just saying I enjoyed the process, and I think more about the process and the journey more than I do the actual destination once I'm actually there. Ooh, I can tell this one's gonna be hard to split. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There it goes. There it goes. There it is. There it is. You just gotta have a bigger wind up. There it is. One more, we'll start stacking. Oh, no match for the Fiskars. Fiskars axe, X27. This is a good axe, best axe I've ever used. I think it's from Sweden. Pretty sure they have a lifetime warranty too, as long as you don't hit anything with the back of the axe here. Oh. Keep this from falling, we're gonna add a T-post on this side. And if you're wondering why I don't just use a log splitter, I don't have a log splitter, but my neighbor does, and I've used it before. I don't think it cuts out that much time, so if you're thinking on a time standpoint, but yeah, I mean, I could go run over there right now and go borrow the log splitter. I actually like the exercise, like I've been talking about in the whole video. It's really nice to break a sweat, you know, go in hungry for lunch, go in hungry for dinner, and have a good night's sleep at the end of the night. As exhausting as it may be, it's a really good workout, so that's why I'm not grabbing the log splitter. Oh. Sorry, I dropped you there. Time. There it is. Let's add another T-post. Well, got a decent amount of wood put away in the last day or so. This was from a while ago, but decent amount of wood. It's nice to be a little bit farther in it. I think I'll definitely have to at least do one more batch of grabbing logs from the back, splitting up here and stacking it before we're probably close to about the amount of wood we're gonna use this winter. Like I said, we are not heating our home with anything except this. The only thing that this cost was my sweat equity. That's just free labor. Of course, I could be doing something else, but what's more important than heating your home, lowering your electric bill? Yeah, I can't believe only 2% of the population, 2% of the US population heats their home with wood. Very rewarding if you don't have a wood stove in your home, or if you're building a home and you think, well, I'm not gonna need a wood stove. Electricity is always gonna be cheap. You're wrong. I guarantee it's gonna get very expensive someday. Wintertime is not a good time to run out of heat if it's electric and not being able to have some way to heat your home. So at least install a wood stove as a backup source, but honestly, install a wood stove and just use that as the heat system. So much cheaper, so much better. Well, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one.